Hey, I'm Stevie Boland, and this is my Project 3. For my Project 3, the content will be my lesson plan. My audience is 19 fifth graders. My objective is I can multiply and divide whole numbers and decimals by the powers of 10. Our activity will be a lesson and a worksheet. The assessment will be an independent worksheet, and the connection to theories or concepts will be direct instruction. I decided to design a lesson plan and justify components based on theories or concepts. The theory or concept I chose to do was direct instruction. For direct instruction, one must state the learning objective, review the prerequisites, present new material, conduct learning probes, provide independent practice, assess performance and provide feedback, and provide distributed practice and review. First, to state the learning objective. Our objective is I can multiply and divide whole numbers and decimals by the power of 10. Next is to review the prerequisites. First, we're going to review our place value. This will consider our ones, our tens, our hundreds, thousandths, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. This will enable me to tell the students, hey, this number goes, or ask the students, where does this number go, and then be able to relate in those terms. We'll also activate our prior knowledge by reviewing the powers of 10. It's something we've been studying, that 10 times 10 equals 100, or 10 to the second power, where 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 equals 10,000, or 10 to the fourth power, and relate to the students again that a simple way to do this is, if it is 10 to the fourth power, that 4 tells me that I need four zeros right there. So along with my 1, I know I'm going to have a 1, and to add my 4 zeros, that automatically gives me 10,000, and that's a very easy way for a teacher to relate that to the student, making sure that they do understand it is gaining a place value, but it is a simple way to relate that. The next thing I'll do is present the new material. The new material can consist of our place value chart. We have worked in with a place value chart, but not to this extent where it's easy to see the moves and the shifts in when you do multiply or divide. Also, we will look at how the number of zeros will determine how many place values you will move. And then you'll also look at when multiplying, your place value becomes greater, and when you divide, your place value becomes smaller. When you multiply a whole number, is the easiest way, or to by the power of 10, the easiest way to do this is by inserting the number in the correct place value. If you are multiplying by 10 to the third power, or by 1,000, then the easiest thing to do is count those zeros or look at it as 10 to the third power. That 3 is going to tell you how many place values you are going to shift. And if you're going to multiply it, then you're going to become greater. So if we were multiplying 150 times 10 to the third, we would place our 1 in the 100 place, our 5 in the 10, and our 0 in the ones. Once those are placed there, you will look that we are multiplying by 10 to the third, I believe I said, and you will shift over to the left because you will get greater 3 times. Once you shift those numbers over 3 place values, you will then insert the zeros in the open place values that are in front of the decimal. Once you do this, your answer will then become 150,000. When you divide through a place value chart and using the power of tens, you will again place your numbers within your place value chart. So say we divide 25.2 divided by 10 to the second power. Go ahead and place that 25 in the 2 in the tens, and that 5 in the ones column, and then the decimal, you'll have a place for it, and then the 2 in the tenths column. When you divide, your place value becomes smaller, so therefore you will shift to the right. Since you are dividing by the power of 10 to the power of 2, you know your shift's going to be 2 times. So along with if you were multiplying also, you can draw lines. You can put your pen right on that number and shift it over 2 lines and draw that arrow to the next place value that it needs to be in after you've shifted 2 times. You can continue to do that with the other numbers until you get your answer. Once this is practiced several times on the board, it really is a pretty simple concept to pick up, and students love a place value chart because they are able to see the transition. They're able to see how it's moved by drawing their lines and how it is, shifted over to become greater or less by the powers, because that one number, that exponent, will tell you the exact times you need to move your numbers. When conducting learning probes, I'll question the students to assess their level of understanding and correct their misconceptions. There's always going to be students who have questions about it, and I love questions because that means that they really want to learn about them or want to learn what you're teaching. So I love to hear those questions and maybe go a different route in explaining how to get the answer. Once I feel like they really have a good understanding, I provide independent practice. This is where I give students work or worksheets to practice multiplying and dividing the whole numbers and the decimals or fractions. This really helps me to see if they're struggling or if they're catching on. And so I really like this step. After reviewing their worksheets, I'll always end the day with an assessment, and this will help me to see how much more I need to touch up on it the next day and how much more work we need on it. I'll give them a small assessment. This assessment can be like an independent worksheet that I'm going to grade. It can be to work their problems on their whiteboard and hold them up so I can assess them all at one time and to see how many of the same answers I have and see how many are different. Or sometimes I'll let a student get up and work it in class if they really feel comfortable with it, and they love to do that, especially when they grasp the concept very quickly. The last thing to do would be provide distributed practice and review. For me, this is where I send home homework in 5th grade. I feel like homework should be a priority and you should start learning how to do it because it's not long till you hit junior high and you have to do it. I don't send a lot, but I do send it. So students are sent home with a brief but effective homework. This enables me to see how well they understand it being away from school, where they're not able to just come up and say, Ms. Boland, I need help with this stage, I need help with this part. This really enables me to see how they can do it completely independently. Also, when I say homework, it can be anywhere from 5, 6, 7 problems. It's not an overload. It's to see the progress they've made and to see how they can do it at home. That completes my Project 3. I hope you enjoyed it, and I've greatly enjoyed your class, and I hope you have a great Christmas break.